1 minute. Can you hear me? Are you there? Seems to be a very small group today. Bonjour. Nice to be here. I think it's such a wonderful opportunity to be able to be together doing these meditations. It's very nice to know who is there. And I think I know most of you. It's nice. You know, one of the most important parts of this meditation is the feeling that there is nowhere to go, that there is nothing to accomplish. And that is what this meditation is fundamentally about. It's not about reaching something, but it's about finding ourselves in this moment. I'm thinking now just a practical thing. Maybe next time we will do the meditation also on Zoom, just so we can see each other. There is not such a large group, and we could do it in Zoom. I will let you know. You know, throughout our day, throughout our lives, most of our activities, most of our impulses come out of originally, the first thing that we feel is a sensation. It's a sensation in our body. The thing is that the sensation is often not really felt, or it's like, let's say the mind works, the mind is 100%, and the sensations usually are perceived by a very, very small part of our mind. And so that sensation is not actually, it doesn't become, we don't become really aware of that sensation. And then that sensation becomes a thought, that thought becomes an emotion, and then an emotion is something that emotes, is something that has the energy to make us move, and then we move and do things. And what we do is not always really what we want to do, but many times what we do is an action that we believe is going to make that sensation that it was originally appear in our body go away. So a lot of our activities are a result of originally a sensation in our body that we didn't like, but we never made it never became part of our conscious mind. What became part of our conscious mind was the next step, which is a thought. And that thought created an emotion, and that emotion is what made me move, do something. For example, going to the fridge and get something to eat. Or making a phone call to a friend that I don't really need to speak with. Or having negative thoughts in my mind about somebody that did something a while ago. All these things are activities that come at the end of at the beginning was just a sensation that appeared in my body, a sensation that many times is an unpleasant sensation, but it's just a sensation. It's nothing good or bad. It's just something like a buzzing of a mosquito. And because I don't like that buzzing of the mosquito, then a thought appears. But the thought is not always directly related to the sensation because the sensation is not conscious. And so a thought appears, then an emotion appears, and then the action appears. And what I want to do today in the meditation is simply to look for sensations in our body. We will not find too many things, and there will be many moments when we will not find anything. But still, I would like just to start to make the mind more sensitive to perceive sensations in a more sensible way. I will try to keep the meditation for no more than half an hour maximum, maybe even less. But what is important is the returning to the moment. I will guide you into different parts of the body, and we will stay in different parts of the body, paying attention to that part of the body. And it will be like trying to hear the part of the body speaking. It's like if you just want to let that particular part of the body tell you its story. But the story is not going to be told in thoughts. It's going to be told in sensations. Sensations that very often are very, very, very subtle, very, very silent, that it will be not easy to hear. What will happen is that as we go in the different parts, the mind will start to wander. It will go into a memory, a problem, a difficulty, whatever. Don't worry for that. And the other part of the meditation is this returning, this coming back, this coming back. You may have to come back 10 times. You may have to come back 100 times. You may have to come back 1,000 times. Or I promise you, you may even have to come back 10,000 times. It doesn't matter. This returning to whatever it is that we are doing, let's say we are paying attention to our knees. Return to the knees 100 times if you need to. This returning is a very important part of the meditation. It's not the getting upset with you because you got lost in your mind. That doesn't work. That doesn't help. It doesn't help one bit. But the moment you realize the returning to the moment, the returning to whatever it is that we are paying attention to, that is extremely helpful. So as long as you don't get upset with yourself because you get lost in your mind, then everything is fine. All you need to do is to return to the moment over and over and over, and then over again. This is a practice. We are practicing something very profound, although it may seem very simple. So just very briefly, sit in a very comfortable position. It's fine to sit on a chair. It's fine to lay your back in something that will support you, but try to be comfortable. Try not to lie on the floor, otherwise the body may feel that it's time to go to sleep. And that's what we don't want. It may happen, but we don't really want to fall asleep. We want to keep the mind very awake and alert. So lying down is not the best solution for that. Sit in a comfortable position. Close your eyes. And I will recommend you to keep your eyes closed at all times. If you need to open your eyes, of course you will open your eyes, it's not a problem. But try to keep your eyes closed. And if you need to open your eyes, try to see that the need started as a sensation. That sensation created a thought that I need to open my eyes. The thought will create an emotion of being very uncomfortable, and then you will have the impulse to open the eyes, or whatever that is. But that impulse has started as a sensation in your body. Just close your eyes. And simply start to pay attention to your breathing. Simply notice your breath. We don't need to change the breath in any way. But if the need to change appears, that's fine. If you need to take a deeper breath, please let it happen. And then, little by little, try to come into this normal breath. Just let the breathing breathe itself. There is nowhere to go. Nothing needs to happen. It's just me sitting here, noticing my breathing. That's all has to happen. You're not supposed to feel at peace. You're not supposed to feel quiet. You're not supposed to feel agitated. You're not supposed to feel in any particular way. And please, for many of us, this is the most difficult part of the meditation. The belief that something is supposed to be different from what it is. And the whole idea of this meditation is to allow everything to be exactly as it is. Nothing has to be different. You're not supposed to be feeling good. You're not supposed to feel comfortable. You're not supposed to feel uncomfortable either. You're supposed to feel exactly as you feel. Just notice the air coming in and the air going out. Just allowing the moment to be as it is in itself a meditation. But that meditation is more difficult to do because there is really nothing to grasp. And so we will come to that meditation, but later. We will keep doing some meditations that are not so difficult as that one. But the aim is to allow everything to be exactly as it is, not to want to change what it is. Just keep returning to the breathing. If your mind wanders to a thought, to a memory, to a desire, just bring the mind back into the breathing, over and over and over. Try to stop moving any part of your body. In particular, see that you may want to move your hands, or you may want to move your lips. Try to avoid any movement. Unless, of course, you have to move, that's no problem. But we will try to, within our possibilities, not to move any parts of our body. In particular, try to avoid moving your fingers and your hands. That may make you feel quite uncomfortable. Wonderful. Just observe that sensation. That is nothing but a sensation appearing in your body. Just be aware of it. And keep returning to the breath. Let the air come in and the air go out. Don't control your breath. Don't force your breath. Just let it happen as it happens. If you feel uncomfortable for any reason, before you act on that sense of being uncomfortable, before you do something about it, try to experience, try to notice, try to feel that sense of uncomfort. Imagine that the sense of being uncomfortable is like a very rare plant that you just discovered in your backyard. It's a plant that you have never seen before, something very unusual, very strange. And you don't want to touch it because you don't know what the plant can do. But you kneel in front of the plant and you simply start to look at it, observe it. And that's all you have to do with this sensation. Just nothing more than paying attention to them. Keep returning to the breathing. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to accomplish. There is nothing to become. It's just this moment, myself, allowing the breath to happen, paying attention to the breathing. That's all there is. Now, I will start to mention different parts of our body. And I would like you to bring the attention to that part of the body and then to stay there, just listening. You may not hear anything, you may not feel anything, but it doesn't matter. It's like starting to recognize our body from the inside. It's like discovering our body from a new place, from a new point of view. If you get lost, always please first return to the breathing. And then, after a few seconds that you return to the breathing, then you will return to that part of the body. So we start with the feet. Just pay attention to your feet. Notice the sole of your feet. Notice your toes. Notice your heels. And just stay there. You can go to your right foot first. And then go to your left foot. And just stay on your feet. Stay there. Just having a sensation of them, a feeling for them. And try to hear the feet. If you're sitting on a chair and the feet are on the floor, try to feel the pressure of the sole of your feet on the floor. If you're sitting with your legs crossed, notice which part of your body is touching your feet. How does it feel, that touch? Just simply notice your feet. If you get lost, return to the breathing. And then after a few seconds, return to the feet. There is nothing to accomplish. There is nowhere to go. Relax into this moment. Allow this moment to be exactly as it is. It doesn't have to be any different at all. It doesn't have to be easy to be in this moment. It's okay if being in this moment is not easy at all. It is not easy. It's nothing but a sensation. Notice your calf muscles. Notice your knees. Let them talk to you. Let them speak to you. Notice your thighs. The front of your thighs. The back of your thighs. The sides of your thighs. If you have your legs crossed, maybe you feel some pain in your legs. But pain is nothing but a sensation. Don't notice pain, but start to notice the sensation that we call pain. Pain is nothing but a name that we give to a particular sensation. The moment that we call that sensation pain, pain becomes stronger, more powerful, more difficult to bear. But the moment that we find the sensation that we call pain, the sensation itself, most of the time, is not nearly as difficult as the name pain. A sensation is much more bearable than the word pain. Just notice your legs. Notice your glutes. Notice the sensation of the glutes on the chair or on the floor or on whatever you are seated on. Try to stay with the sensation that you feel and don't go to the name that you put to that sensation. There is the sensation of pressure, maybe a sensation of coolness or warmness. Maybe a sensation of weight. but try to see weight as a sensation. Notice your back. Start with your lower back. Feel a sensation of your lower back. Try not to go to the name of what the sensation points to, but try to stay on the sensation itself. Discover these very rare plants called sensations in our body. Go to the middle back and to the upper back. Feel the sensation of your clothes on your back. If you're lying on a chair, feel the sensation of your chair on the back. Feel the length of your spine. How does it feel, the length of your spine? If you get lost, return to your breathing. Just focus on your breath. And then after a few seconds, return to your back. When you feel a sensation, try not to act on the sensation. We have this habit of wanting to get rid of our sensations, unless, of course, it's a pleasant sensation. But most of our activities, most of our daily activities come as a reaction to unpleasant sensations in our body. And all we want to do now is, instead of reacting to those sensations, we want to notice them, to become aware of them, to bring them closer to what we call our conscious mind, to bring them out of hiding, out of the darkness into the light. Notice your tummy. Just notice the tummy without thinking about your tummy. Just notice what is there. Notice any sensation of warmth, any pressure, any movement. There is no right or wrong. There is nothing that is supposed to happen. It's just the discovery of what is there. That's all. Notice your chest. And stay there for a few seconds. The chest is full of sensations, full of colors. Try not to name those sensations. Don't go into a name. Just stay in the pure, raw sensation. We are not trying to change anything. Really, we are not trying to change anything at all. We are not saying that something is right or something is wrong. We are just allowing the sensation to come to the surface and to notice it, to rediscover it. Like a scientist discovering a new particle, something that he has never seen before. Notice your shoulders. If you get lost, return to the breathing. Notice your upper arms, and your elbows, and your forearms, and your hands, and your fingers. Just stay with the sensations on the whole of the arms and stay there. The arms are usually the first that wants to move based on this uncomfortable sensation that we find in the body. Try to see what happens if you don't move your arms, if you don't move your hands, if you don't move your fingers. Just notice the sensations that come, that appear in your body. And let them be. Don't react to them. The hand is the first one that wants to reach something. He wants to reach for the cigarette. He wants to reach for the food. He wants to reach to scratch my nose, to scratch my face. He wants to reach to punch somebody else. See what happens if we don't move the arm, if we don't move the hand. For example, if you smoke, make it like a practice. When you have this desire to get a cigarette, just wait for 15, 20, 30 seconds before you get the cigarette, or whatever that could be. Maybe a piece of food or whatever it could be. Wait for 15, 20, 30 seconds and notice the sensations that appear in your body. Just notice, nothing to change. Don't try to change anything. Just simply notice the sensation. And then after 30 seconds or so, just continue. Just grab your cigarette and do what you do. But first, notice the sensation, like right now. Just notice the sensation. Notice your neck. Notice the muscles around your neck, around your shoulders. There is nothing to change. It's only to observe. Notice your face. There are thousands of tensions on the face that started simply as a sensation in your body. Your face probably the one that has the most colors, the more variations of sensations. In your lips, on your eyes, on your forehead. But there is nothing to change, it's only to discover. Let your face talk to you. Let your face tell her story to you. Notice your head. There is nothing to accomplish. There is nowhere to go. Just being here, noticing whatever we find, whatever is there. Just feel the whole body, just for the next few seconds. Just notice the whole body with the millions of different sensations coming and going. But just try not to react to the sensations. Just let them come, let them talk, and then let them go as they will go. No sensation remains for long. Some sensations are longer than others. Some sensations are more repetitive than others. But no sensation remains for long. It comes, it talks, and then it goes. Just stay with the whole body. Just feel it. Stay with it. Notice the sensations coming, expressing themselves, and leaving. The sensations often become thoughts, but try not to go into the thought, but stay in the sensation. The thought is a habit, and it may not be really directly to the sensation. Try to stay in the sensation, not in the thought. In the sensation itself, there is silence. When it becomes a thought, then the silence stops, and it becomes the sound of the thought. But in the sensation itself, there is silence. We just stay for one more minute, allowing the sensations to come, to express themselves, and to leave. Just the last minute. And very slowly, reconnect to your breathing. Allow more air to come in, more air to go out. Just take a couple of deep breaths. Start to move your hands, start to move your arms. Very slowly start to move your body. If you need to stretch your legs, like I do, stretch your legs. Just move a bit your shoulders. It went longer than I was hoping for. It should go much longer than this. And maybe when we meet each other in a retreat, we will do it longer than this. It's a wonderful practice. And you don't have to be meditating to do this practice throughout your day. Just before you do something, before you have the impulse, this basic impulse is to open the fridge, to check Facebook, to make a call that you don't really need to scratch your body, to take a cigarette. Before you do any of those things, stop for a few seconds. Notice the sensation. Make the sensation come into the surface of your awareness. It is in your awareness, but it's hidden. So allow the sensation to come closer to you. Don't react to it. And then do whatever you need to do. We are not trying to change anything. We're only observing, paying attention, bringing light. We have a few minutes. If you want to make a comment or ask a question, if I can. This is something that takes time. It takes a lot of repetition, and a lot of sensitivity, which is something that we don't have anymore. I think in the past, when there were not so many distractions, the mind was a bit more sensitive. Now our sensitivity is pretty much lost. And so we become more and more like robots, acting of these impulses, but not knowing why we act the way we act. I know it's not easy to do this, but at the same time it's wonderful to do this. If there are no comments and no questions, then we just stop it here. It's wonderful. I'm glad you made the effort to be here. We will do a meditation again. Yes, Alexandra, exactly. My mind has been wandering a lot. Yes, that's what we do, but you just notice what we do all day long, all week long, all month long, all our life. That's what the mind is doing all the time. And start to notice that, start to pay attention to it. That is already a magnificent practice. And your attitude is the best. It is no problem. That's the right attitude, I promise you. I'm glad they are useful, Tanya. Yes, Bill, it's not easy, but very helpful. I agree with you. Thank you, Ana Maria. Just noticing them. That's all there is. That's the exercise. Yes, there is a lot of fear. Very nice observation, Gabriela. Gabi, very nice observation. There is a lot of fear. It's the fear of the unknown, the fear of what could happen. There is a lot of fear. There is a lot of resistance to there is a lot of resistance to observing. It's like a little kid. I promise you, all these sensations hidden, they're like little kids hidden inside, afraid to be hurt. That's all it is. It's just little kids. But these little kids, when they are unobserved, they become when they become thought and then they become emotions, they become not like little kids, but they become like big monsters many times. But the big monsters are nothing that little afraid kids inside our heart. They're nothing but very small kids afraid of the light. Not afraid of the dark like most kids, but they're afraid of the light. What could be Matthew, Mattei? I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm sorry, Matthew. It could be that there is less distractions, although we try to keep finding distractions. But one thing it could be, I'm not sure if you have people, if you have other ideas, but it could be that there are less distractions. And when there are less distractions, the mind is more attentive. It's something that is very, very useful to have less distractions. Elena, you know that you said my back was hurting a lot. I understand. It's not easy to sit in meditation, but you know that the very original idea of doing yoga, the asanas is the movement of yoga. The idea of doing the yoga was mostly in order for one to be able to sit comfortably in meditation. The whole yoga then was taken away, especially by the Americans. They took away just like one nail of the whole idea of yoga, and they make it into this gym, into these exercises where we sweat and we lose weight or whatever that is. But originally, the whole idea of doing yoga, it was in order for one to be fit, to be able to sit in meditation. That's funny, but that's how it was. So try to practice yoga or try to practice any gym to help you to stay stronger, to be able to sit more easily in meditation. But that's exactly, pain is just a name for a sensation. And the sensation is not nearly as difficult as when we name it pain and we name it all the names that it has behind the pain, the fears and it's mostly about fear, the fear of what the pain can become or what I am going to become. The thought it makes the pain much more difficult than the sensation in itself is. It's like that, Elia. Our whole life we play hide and seek. Yes, at many levels, at many levels, it is the play of hide and seek. Yes. That's a very good question, Sorina. So much resistance. That's a very important question. Why there is so much resistance of doing all these things? Anyway, I love that question. I think it's a wonderful question. I will think about it more. Now the time has passed. It's more than 1 hour, and tonight, anyway, for the ones that are still here, tonight we will have this session of questions and answers. If you can make it, Sorina, it will be a nice question to try to talk about. And if you cannot, anyway, if you want to write me, and I will try to answer to you, at least to think about it. It's a very good question. Why is there so much resistance on doing these things? I will leave it open for now. Thank you very much for being here. Give it a like if you want to, put some more comments or down below in the comment section. And thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. Ciao.